Don't mean to hurt your feelings, white boys.
The people that chose him know the time that we are living at the end of America's rule as a great power in the world. Now you have to face it. She's bankrupt. What are you gonna do when the dollar is worth nothing?
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's good to see you today on the Speak and See Show. Like, subscribe, click that notification button so when I get information out, you can get information in. And for all of you who do not know, who have never been here before, welcome. We appreciate you joining us. Please like and subscribe as well. And we do go a little bit deep. We get a little more intense than most channels. So if I hurt your feelings here, sorry, you're going to have to excuse us, but that's just how we do it. Sometimes the truth does hurt.
Remember that he represents in the minds of many people around the world someone who has decided to challenge not just American military and political hegemony, but American and Western financial hegemony.
Now we are going to get into the politics of Africa right now that America is deviling into, which maybe they shouldn't be deviling in so much as we all know and have seen over the last, say, year and a half, especially with Africa saying, time to go, guys, time to get out. And you know what? Americans are like, yeah, I think they need to go. We're going to be showing you some information that we have just discovered. That's what we do with investigative journalism here. We go deeper into the stories than they bring out onto the media. And later on, you'll see it in the media. But for those of you watching here, you actually bring the news out to people. And we are going to bring you right now into, there are some concerning bills that have just been put onto the House and Senate floor and have been getting co-sponsors as well from both the Democrats and Republicans regarding Mali, Burkina Faso, Chad, and Niger, labeling them as combat zones. Interesting. Now, as far as that goes, we're going to go into that, but we're also going to go to as well the Senegal elections and what part America played in that, because they did play a part in the Senegal elections, and we need to be aware of what's going on and what they're accusing Senegal of and what as well America is doing themselves. Once again, the hypocrisy is there, and we have facts to prove it. So we're going to bring the facts to you in many ways, shapes, and forms. And if it gets a little bit intense, we're sorry, but hey, that's life. And we're trying to come to the reality of the truth with the whole big picture as far as Africa moving forward in the right direction. And we want to give you a shout out, Senegal, for your new leadership. Congratulations on that. A shout out to all of those people out there in Africa who jumped into the 2023 revolution and have been holding at bay and not flinching to the West anymore in 2024, and it is coming out. So when we say the awareness is out there, the world is watching, we mean the world is watching, not just people like you and myself, normal everyday citizens of Africa or America or China or Russia or Europe, anywhere in the world is watching. But we see the higher ups continue to watch this as well because it informs them on things they may not have known. And here is retired Douglas Abbott McGregor. He is a retired Army colonel, the government official, author, and consultant and political commentator. He was the leader in the early tank battle in the Gulf War and the top planner in 1999 NATO bombing of Yugoslavia. In 2020, President Trump appointed McGregor to a 3-year term on the advisory board of the United States Military Academy at West Point. He was quickly terminated by President Biden in 2021. Hear what he has to say.
Remember that he represents in the minds of many people around the world someone who has decided to challenge not just American military and political hegemony, but American and Western financial hegemony. The World Bank and associated institutions have effectively been puppets for U.S. and allied foreign policy. And if you don't do what we tell you to do, then we won't lend you the money that you want. We talk all the time about the Chinese supposedly blackmailing people by lending them lots of money and then holding them accountable. Well, we do the same thing, only we do it in more subtle ways that are actually more damaging to the society because we're very intrusive. We're not just interested in the specific project. We're trying to restructure people's societies, change their cultures. So you have people in Africa, Latin America, much of Asia, who are very sympathetic to the Russians, who are seen as standing up to this.
Now tell me he's wrong. I can't say he's wrong. Now here we are talking about monetization, money for other countries that America has to approve of. Now with Africa literally going to Russia and China saying, hey, can you guys help us? Can we make deals here between us two? Let's count these guys out. And they're doing it. They're counting America out as far as taking the Russians and the Chinese and the BRICS and their fellow Africans and trading within and creating new currencies. It's very important that we understand what's going on with the American dollar. And I'm going to show you right now what Louis Farrakhan just had to say about the American dollar. And I don't know about you, but I think this is coming around the time where Africa is making all these changes. And I have to kind of agree with Louis Farrakhan. Let me know what you think.
Our brother was selected before he was elected. Wait a minute. Now, all of you know something about kingmakers. When people in back rooms come to somebody who's popular, somebody who's intelligent, that don't speak with a Negro dialect. A light-skinned Negro. That is non-threatening to white people because they can see themselves in him because he's part them and part us. This is political scheming. When you select a man, the man may never know what your purpose was. Now look, who selected a junior senator that hadn't even got his foot wet in the Senate and made him believe that he, from that position, could become president of the United States? I suggest to you that the people that looked at him and saw his brilliance, saw that that brilliance could be used for a purpose that was not our agenda. Now, I'm closing now. The people that chose him know the time that we are living at the end of America's rule as a great power in the world. Now, you have to face it. She's bankrupt. What are you going to do when the dollar is worth nothing? They are printing money out of thin air to back these programs. So my brother may be disappointing some that thought he would be what maybe he has the nerve not to be.
Let me just explain to you, if you've come this far in the video, let me explain to you what you've just seen, what we've just witnessed here. We've seen Louis Farrakhan, a religious leader who heads the Nation of Islam, a black nationalist organization, along with Douglas Abbott MacArthur, a retired U.S. Army colonel, government official, who actually was the leader in the early tank battle of the Gulf War and was the top planner of the 1999 NATO bombing of Yugoslavia. Colonel under also President Donald Trump, who understood what Vladimir Putin was doing in Africa. Now, these three iconic world-renowned leaders who have absolutely nothing in common with each other, either politically, religiously, geographically, or ethnically, they're worlds apart. But they agree on one thing. And the vast majority of the world stands together on one very major issue. The West has gone too far and is now being challenged by the world. It's because what Africa came out with in 2023, putting their foot down, saying no more. So now we tie all this into the Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and Chad combat zone issued by Congress and the Senate of the United States. Told you, gets deep. Okay, now a lot of you have watched the exposed video that we put up here where we go into Congress and go into a congressional hearing. We did that on January 31st of 2024.
I agree with you. Conditions have to be in place for the election, and we would be very concerned with a scenario where support and funding goes into a mission when they're not ready for that election. And so we need to see the conditions in place for that election to occur.
In the Committee on Foreign Affairs, and they spoke on what they were going to do with Africa. The American Congress spoke on what they were going to do with Africa. I put up 2 exposed videos, exposed 1 and exposed 2, and they were very telling and straight from the horse's mouth about what they were going to do with Africa. And if you really want to see some in-depth on these matters that we're discussing, that America's discussing about Africa, I'd encourage you to go watch them when you get time. However, when they get behind closed doors, what they do is they have lawyers draw up bills to discuss the budget and to fund budgets on projects that they intend to fund going forward. Then the laws will pop up on congress.gov, and if anyone is diligent enough to seek out the new laws, if they know where to look, and find the new targets, they might find some of these things in there that are very telling about the direction that they're going, especially in Africa right now.
The situation in Mali is much more complicated because the government essentially lost confidence in their ability to carry out the mission against very challenged counterterrorism environment. And so that was an unfortunate decision because that mission, as you know, was implementing a broader peace agreement with the Algiers Accord. So it's an unfortunate loss, frankly.
And when I found these bills, I was shocked. I was just literally shocked. Like, what? And I think that you're going to be shocked as well. So let's go over these together, and we'll go over the details of them and what it really means. So here we go. Literally, you can go to congress.gov, anybody really, and type in Burkina Faso, whatever. But I'm going to click here, congress.gov. Here's where you find the bills and the laws that are being represented and brought to the table for the House and the Senate. Congress.gov. So Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, Chad, Guinea, all you guys over there, don't make me be doing your homework for you. I'm sure Traore, you got it covered. I'm sure. I'm just saying. But for the people out there who don't know about this, I'm gonna give you the inside scoop on what's going on. So I go on to congress.gov, okay, and up here you can notice we have S3101, and which is the Senate, means the Senate, HR, which is the House, the Congress. So the 2 bills are pretty much the exact same thing. Came out on the exact same date. So they were brought forth in the House and in the Senate. So the bill says, a bill to provide members of the armed forces performing services in Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, Chad, shall be entitled to tax benefits in the same manner as if such services were performed in a combat zone. Now, why now? Now, that's my big question is, why now? We've seen the American military over there, United States military has been there for a long time. Why are they just putting this in, enacting a combat zone law now? To get more on that, we would probably have to go to the combat zone law. What does that mean? Because the only thing that I can refer that to is wartime. Here we go. Let me expand this for everybody. Here we are, the history of the combat zone tax exclusion. Okay, although this, I'm going to go up to the top where it says the combat zone, CZTE as combat zone, was originally established to alleviate burden of war finance from those who fought in the nation's conflict during World War II. This combat zone text has never left the war zone area. Whenever they talk about combat, they're talking about being war zone. So as far as Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and Chad having coups, Russia's coming in, and America's declaring it combat zone. I think it's time to go. United States, I think it's just time to go. But as far as the future holds with this, I could go down and read it throughout. Basically, it's saying throughout the whole thing that it's during war time is when the combat zone is designated. During war times, the combat zone is designated. So why now? This is very, very disturbing to me. And I don't know if it's disturbing to anybody else out there, but I know Russia is now going into Niger in these places, in Burkina Faso and Mali. So why are we starting to declare a combat zone? Why don't we just get out? Anyway, I just needed to bring that up. Now, as far as that's pretty deep, I know that's pretty deep right there, right, guys? So I just wanted to bring that out. There we go. Let the truth be known. It's out there. So don't take my word for it. Take Congress's word for it. You can go to congress.gov and find these two bills yourself. So let me continue, in which we will go to the congress.gov. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, straight from the horse's mouth, we're getting it, is the Res 511, a resolution reinforcing the United States-Senegal relationships and urging the government of Senegal to conduct a free, fair, transparent, inclusive election on February 25th, 2024, in which they did. This is where I'm bringing you to. America played a role in making sure that this election went forth because, what was it, Macky Sall wanted to hold off and not do this thing? And America already knows that it's already in enough trouble with Africa to let Macky Sall, who was a puppet, continue going on his way because they've been exposed. So here we are. We're going down into the bill here, which was done by Senator Ben Cardin. He's usually a small business finance guy. I don't understand why he's even going in this area. But here we are. Whereas in Senegal, regional leader and advocate for democracy in the West Africa, having made important contributions to the democratic transition in the Gambia and pressing military juntas in Guinea, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger to restore democracy and yield power to civilian elected authorities, saying that he wants ECOWAS to, he wants Niger and all those Burkina Faso, Mali, and Chad to come back into ECOWAS. I don't know. You tell me. In 2024, this is basically talking about the new guy you guys just got in Niger. In Senegal, I'm sorry. Congratulations on that. Freedom House lowered Senegal's rating from free to partly free in 2020 due to politically motivated prosecutions of oppositional leaders. Now, as we see that, the Freedom House lowered Senegal's rating from free to partly free. What does that mean? Well, it means a little bit, but not a lot. But the reason why it was rated lower was because Senegal was prosecuting, Macky Sall was throwing political prisoners in jail. Why isn't America's poll for the Freedom House being lowered as well when America's trying to throw President Trump in jail as a political prisoner? He's being rung up and down the ringer the same way that the Senegal incumbents or the Senegal politicians that were running for president were as well. Get him out, throw him in jail. It's the same way. Now, what is this? What America does is more hypocrisy. Once again, here is the Freedom House. So if you type in Freedom House, this is kind of the poll master as to who's free and who's not in the world. Let me just give you an idea of what America sees, ladies and gentlemen. Freedom and democracy. If you go up here to the freedom map, anybody can go on here, ladies and gentlemen. This is good information, right? Go to the freedom map, and here we are. Global freedom status. We go into Senegal is 67 of it 100% free. Partly free. It's yellow. You notice the yellows say partly free. Purple say not free. In Mali, they have Mali not free. They have Niger is partly free. They have Chad not free. They have Sudan not free. They have Burkina Faso not free. They have Guinea not free. This is America saying who's free and who's not free. And of course, look who is free. Of course, America, Canada, Brazil, all these places that already have problems with their election officials and their election ballots and questions, having Brazil having the big coup almost in overthrowing their courtroom and overthrowing their capital with millions of people. And then you had America overthrowing its capital, which what they said was an insurrection, with a bunch of people storming in saying that it wasn't free. So why aren't they yellow? Why isn't America yellow? And look over here, of course, they have Russia, not free. And Russia just had an election which went off without a problem. So why is it, I mean, it's so, doesn't it just get you? But anyway, I'm showing you this because America did have, and you can go into this yourself as well. And this has internet freedom on there. You click on that and it tells you who gets the internet who's open to get the internet and who's not. Now look at America. Free, of course. Yeah, we get internet whoever we want. No, we're blocked from Russian internet. We're blocked from Chinese internet. We're blocked from a lot of internets. So why do they just label themselves as free and anybody else who doesn't have their system is not? I don't know. Well, yeah, I do know, but I really can't say here or I would get in trouble. So I'm already going to get in trouble probably. Anybody looking outside my window? Let me go ahead and put this down. I got to take my jacket off if you don't mind. Whew, getting hot in here, ladies and gentlemen. That was a pretty tough one to get. It was tough to get through this one. It was tough to get through this one knowing that the truth actually hurts, but the truth is out there. And I wanted to give you all out there the tools as well to do some investigative journalism yourself over matters that are happening, because right now is such an important it's such an important moment in Africa's history. So having the tools available to you is very, very crucial, and I wanted to help you and try to give you some of the tools as far as what we have found, as well as what you can go out there and find yourselves if you're diligent enough. If not, we're going to try to continue to keep this up and keep this motivation going in the right direction for Africa and for the world out there as a matter, because we're all coming together in unity with one love. I'm a firm believer in the Bible, and Jesus Christ is my Savior, and I know that He has more authority and has given it to us to rule this world than any government entity that's out there. And I know that we will prevail as children of the Most High God. We will prevail, and I just want to say, Africa, stay on the right course. You know what you're doing, and hopefully this was eye-opening and gives you that information and insight you needed going forward. And I want to say thank you all for watching. I love you all. It's a one love, and I appreciate every single person out there that's watching this and clicking it and subscribing to it. I want to say thank you so much. We love you. God bless you, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.